You want something cool? Check this out. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And for today's video, we're going to install Genymotion right into your Ubuntu. So let's start. Before you proceed, make sure you meet the necessary requirements. So let's start. Alright, we're done. From this point here, let us begin the installation. Before we begin, let us update our Linux Ubuntu. So let's start. At this point here, we're ready to go. Let us proceed now to the next step. From our browser, we're going to check the download location. Before we proceed with the installation, make sure we check the properties. From here, let's select the file, select Properties. Then from this window, select Permission. Make sure you allow executing file as program. And that's it. Next, to install Genymotion, let us type the following. For us to install the package, we'll be using the terminal to execute the installation command. So let's start. From this section here, let us locate our file by typing ls. Then, copy the file name. Then from the section here, let us type sudo dot slash and paste the file name. Once done, press enter. Enter your password. Make sure you select yes or Y. And there you go. At this point here, our Genymotion is installed. And to check that, let us head over to our application and locate the Genymotion. For this section here, let us locate Genymotion by typing the following. Just type Genymotion. Once appeared, select the app. And there you go. For us to start with Genymotion, make sure you have a registered account. So let's start. Click the button below this Create Account. From this section here, fill up the necessary information needed in this section. Once done, go back to this login section and fill up the necessary credentials. So let's start. If you reach this section here, select Personal Use. Then, this information pop up, just select Agree. Then click Next. Next, select this section here by clicking this box here. Then hit Next. And there you go. At this point here, our Genymotion was still incomplete. For this to work, we need to install the virtual devices to support emulator. So let's start. As for virtual devices, we're going to use VirtualBox. And to install VirtualBox, we're going to type the following. So let's proceed. From here, let us minimize our app. Then from this section, right-click, select Terminal. As our first command, we need to update our operating system by typing sudo apt update. Then, enter your password. Once done, let us install now our VirtualBox. To install VirtualBox, let us type this line code. Type sudo apt install VirtualBox and hit enter. Select yes. Alright, at this point here, our VirtualBox is installed. To confirm, let us check now the VirtualBox in the application. So let's check. From here, just type VirtualBox. Once found, select the app. And there you go. Now that we're done with VirtualBox, let us step over now to Genymotion. From Genymotion, select this Genymotion menu. Then from here, select Settings. Then from Settings, select Hypervisor. Then look this section here. Select the type of hypervisor. Then from this section here, select VirtualBox. Please take note, once you leave your Genymotion open, there will be a tendency that the selection is grayed out. Now, to fix that issues, we need to reopen our Genymotion. Now, to do that, let's close this window here, this one, then head back again to your application. Then, from this section, head back to your Genymotion menu, Settings, then from here, select the hypervisor. Then from here, pick or select the VirtualBox. Once you saw this confirmation, just click Confirm and restart Genymotion. And there you go. Finally, our Genymotion is complete. We can now proceed in creating our Android app. So let's start. Before going to create our app, let us examine first the filter selection in this left corner. So from here, we have this couple of section here, which is the form, density, size, and source. So from our form, we can filter according if it is a phone or a tablet. Also, we have the density and also the display. So these are the size of the Windows display of the app. And last one is the source. All right, that's pretty much about it. So let's now create our very own first app. To begin with, let's click this plus sign. Then from here, we can pick from any devices. So if you're familiar already with this type of device, you can pick or select from any choices or preference you think of. Now, as a beginner, I would suggest we're going to pick this first selection. Since we don't know or if you're confused to what to use, you can experimental or select this first one as your very own starting stage in creating the app. So by selecting this one, hit next. Now I'm just going to leave this name as custom phone. Now from here, you can pick from any Android that you are going to use. So just by default, you're going to select the default Android 12. Then hit next. Then for the processor, make sure you know the available processor. Now for this type of section, I would suggest that I just leave this as 4. Now for the memory size, make sure you know the memory that you're going to set. So from here, I would suggest the half of the memory that your have in your device. So let's say I'm going to pick half of it. Let's say, okay, so almost half of the memory size of this PC. Then click next. Then as a starter, I would suggest to leave everything as default. Then hit next. Then from here, we can select or add additional features in our Android app. So I would suggest we can select or leave it as is. So just for the purpose of the demo, I'm going to select these two sections here. Then hit next. Then for the network mode, whatever the preference as default here, I just simply leave it this section here and click install. All right, we're done. Now to run this app. To run this application, you simply click this button here. So let's start. All right. So at this point here, the app is already loaded. So let's click this section here. and then we'll wait. And there you go. All right, our Android app is ready to use. Next, we're going to run a test package to see if this works. So let's start. For the testing, I already downloaded the APK package. Now to test that, I'm going to open this folder here. So let's move this a little bit. Now to run the application using this APK, simply drag the APK to the application. Then let's wait. All right, that works. Okay, so let's minimize these things from here. Okay, now as you can see, this is displayed in this manner. So to make it a little bit presentable, let's rotate our app by clicking this button here. And there you go. So let's test the games. I'm going to play a little bit. Let's try one more time. And there you go. So at this point here, everything is okay. And we managed to run the application app using Genymotion. So that's it, guys. When running Android app in Genymotion, not all apps are considered workable. Like this, for instance, if you encounter this type of error, this is one of the common things that you may experience while using the app. Now, fix this one. We're going to download a translator that reads this ARM native code. So let's proceed to that and see how this works. Download the translation. We need to head back to our browser. Then from our browser, let us type the following. So you can type from any preference. So let's say for this text, I'm going to look for an ARM translation or Genymotion. Okay. From this point here, we have a lot of bunch of options here. So I guess the first one is the safest one. So we can pick from this example here. So the Genymotion ARM translation. So this is one of the contributions made from our one of the fan of Genymotion. So So from this here, we can download this sample app. Now there's two ways to download this app. It's either you can use the Git to download from this, or if you don't have, just simply click this section here, then click this download zip. Now since I didn't install yet the Git, so I just simply download this button here or this selection here. So let's try that. All right. So let's open the app. So since it's in a zip mode, so we can extract it directly here. So let's select this one here, extract here. Okay, so let's open the folder. Now from this section here, we're going to, or the package were already located in this folder here. So let's open this one. Okay, so I guess I need to change the view for us to understand what's really the content. So let's say, okay, good. So this is more presentable. Okay, so as you can see, so these are the arms based from what type of Android that we are using. So for this example, we have a version of 4, we have also 5, we have also versions for 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I guess this is the only ARM translation as of now. So we can pick from any from this section here. So for the demo, I'll be using this ARM translation. So let's say I guess this is working only for Android 9. So let's try that. So hopefully this works. So let's head back to our Genymotion app. Okay. As for the demo, if you recall, this app was created in Android 12. Now to check the reference for this one, let us close this up. Then from here, so we have this three button section here. So you can simply edit that. So select edit. Now notice here, we already made that using the Android version 12. But since we only have the, which is the only Android for version 9, so I suppose this one work for this type of example. So what we're going to do is we're going to make another emulator just for Android 9. So let's try that. Let's close this one. And from here, let's click this plus button again. Then same goes, going to click this custom phone. So going to rename this one, let's say custom phone for Android 9. Okay, so since we already picked the Android 9, let's change that to Android 9 as well. So here. So next. Okay, same goes. So for the memory, so we're going to pick the half of it. So let's say 4024. Okay, so we hit next. Now for this section here, just going to pick the default. Just simply default, just leave it as is. So just click next. And same goes, going to pick these two buttons here, then click next. So we're going to use this default nut and install. All right, I guess we're ready. So let's close this up. So since we're already made the second emulator here, so I'm going to run this one. Alright, that's ready. Now for the test. Now for the testing, we'll be going to drag another APK file. Now to test this file, I'm going to drag this one into the app and see how does it display once this will be installed. Okay, so there it goes. So notice here, we already encountered this type of error. So by the way, for the information, the app that I already set here is an APK dedicated only for Android 9. So since this is not working for this section here, so let's try now install the ARM translation and see if that solves our problem. So let's start. We're going to locate that translator. So let's head back to our download folder. Then from here, let's open this one under package. So, okay. So we're going to use this ARM translation dedicated for Android 9. So for this to install, simply drag this APK or zip file. Just drag that into our app, then let it run. So notice here it has a message saying that this is a flashable archive. So just click OK. Okay, good. We're done. So this indicates that our zip file is already been installed. So it asks now to restart. So just click this restart now. Let's minimize this folder here. All right, we're back. Now let's try that up again. So let's move this one a bit. So let's open this folder. Then let's drag this racing here. So let's see how it works. All right, seems there's a reaction. So I first errors already been fixed, I suppose. So let's move this bit around here. So let's move up and let's click allow. And there you go. So right. So that's it, guys. So I guess this works now. So there you go. All right. So let's have some recap. So, but first, I'm going to fix this display. Okay, so there you go. So yeah, so this works very well. So same goes if you're working with other type of version. So these are the tips that I'm going to give. So please take note of the following. Based from my experience, I noticed that there are things that you need to consider, especially running if you're running a Linux operating system. Now, these are the tips that I can share. So first and foremost, first tip is I want you to go back to your virtualbox. Now, from here, there's one thing that I want to suggest. Let's say this one. So first, you need to find your application. So from here, open the settings. Then from the settings, my suggest is head back or select this display tab here. Then make sure you select this enable 3D acceleration. Since we're working on the Linux environment and the operating system also that runs the emulation is also a Linux, so it will be best to check this enable 3D acceleration. So this works for me. So hopefully this also works on your part. So for Windows OS, I guess that won't be needed because I guess there's not a bit issues with Windows. So since this is only concerns for Windows, Ubuntu or any Linux, so I would suggest for you to check this one. Okay, so that's the first one. Next, now for this to work, there's also another configuration I made. So let's say going to abort this one. Now, from this section here, one thing that I noticed. So let's say if you are running or already applied the ARM translation. Actually, this is only it only happens when I apply the ARM translation. Now, for there's another particular errors that keeps on warning you on something. So what I do is I listen the hardware processor. So at least two. So I think this is one of the things that most of the time it affect, especially on the network. If you let's say if you encounter like it won't connect although you have your internet. So it would be best to lower your processor. So that's one thing that triggers and also fix my issues. So that's pretty much for all those minor bugs that I encountered. So that's it, guys. Right. So this is a very much long demo and tutorial for this one, and also I really love and enjoy to share these all these things to you. So once again, if you find this video informative, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And see you guys on the next video series. Cheers!